And how old is Lily now?
So Lily's 5 years old, just turned 5 in February. She's currently the youngest, soon to be an older sister, but currently the youngest. Lily's born with Down syndrome. We didn't know. She was a surprise to my ex-wife and I, and we didn't know she was born in the middle of just a lot of stuff. To be quite honest with you, and doctor tells us as soon as he sees her that he's got to fly her out to Iowa City, which is about an hour and a half drive, because the facility in our local area wasn't suited for what Lily was going to need right away. So she was actually in the hospital for, sorry, I haven't told the story for a while. She was in the hospital for about 40 days when she was born. ICU for a few at the very beginning. And, everything from, I won't remember it all, but everything from, she possibly might need a feeding tube. She had some holes in her heart that have since either closed up or not gotten bigger. She was on a nasal cannula, meaning we were feeding her through a syringe essentially for quite a while, even when she had come home. And she just continues to excel far beyond what some of the marks were that we said we should watch for. Today she just got a speech. She does speech therapy once a week, and she's been really excelling at that now at 5. And she's putting some long sentences together. It's been very interesting because milestones for a kiddo with Down syndrome are so different because they're so much more varied than her peer group. Peer group, she can kind of hone in and have a pretty good idea when a kiddo might walk or a kiddo might talk or do some of those other things. And with Down syndrome, it's such a spectrum. No one has a book that will tell you what to expect or what to plan for.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, I think for people too, and like nobody knows their kids, especially when you have some kind of disability or disorder or disease. Like, I've had a handful of friends who've had kids with really serious rare diseases and issues, and nobody knows the mechanics better than parents. So for people who are listening, I think everybody knows what Down syndrome is, but why don't you dive in just a little bit and explain exactly, maybe from a scientific term, like neither one of us are doctors, so we're not gonna be able to speak to every little thing, but just to give people an idea of like what's actually going on, so we can kind of use that as a backdrop for a lot of the conversation.
Man, that's a great question. I will do my best because we've had so much medical information fired at us over the years that to be quite honest, sometimes I have to look at the doctor and go, am I right on this? So there's different forms of Down syndrome, number one. Lily has what 90% of kids with Down syndrome have. She's got trisomy 21, which is a genetic difference in her 21st chromosome. And that's what brings about a lot of the heart issues that a lot of kiddos have. It's part of the facial features that make Down syndrome sort of noticeable. The cognitive side of everything is just typically slower than her average peer group would be. So it takes her longer. At the end of the day, it just takes her longer to do certain things, which really will also lead into what we're talking about today. Is it's not that she can't do the same things her peer group can, or that a kiddo with Down syndrome or autism or whatever the situation is. It's not that they can't do something, it's that it might just be harder and take them longer. Like for Lily, her muscle tone, one thing about her is her muscle tone's so low. So like when you would hold a baby and you'd shake them just a little bit, they might smile because they think it's funny. Lily likes hard play because her muscle tone's so much lower than that of, again, maybe another kiddo, that she likes to play rough because she gets to feel that then. So it's just been different, and it's been a lot of learning on our end. When she was about 2, and this is on downwithrunning.com, we talk a little bit about Lily on there and we show some pictures, but when she was about 2, she was in a walker. Again, the muscle tone in her legs is so low that it takes longer for her to strengthen those, or kiddos with Down syndrome, than it does their peer group. So she had to be in a walker for a while, and she was so motivated watching her brother and sisters run around the house. And I remember we'd take out these little yogurt treats and put them on one end of the living room, and she would take off and go towards them. Like she's motivated. And not our biggest worry, but something Alex and I were talking about was we didn't think she'd be able to walk down the aisle at our wedding. And we've been married just over 2 years now. And that was a big thought for us. It's like, this probably isn't going to, we're going to have her walk down in a wagon, and we're going to have her brother and sister pull her. And it would have been super cute. Well, long story short, she's running down the wedding that day. She was able to get to a point where I guess I look back and say we pushed her and we'll continue to push her, but there was definitely doubts in my mind whether or not that was going to be a possibility. And she just keeps showing us like dare me. She just kind of looks at you and is like, dare me. I bet you don't. She pulled up on this morning. I got done with my run. I was doing some strength training in the garage, and because I wanted to be able to tell you I did strength training, because I know you're big on strength training.
There you go.
She gets up on the pull-up bar, and at first she goes, I can't. And I was like, yeah, you can. And I didn't give her any help because I've seen her do this plenty of times now. Well, her brother comes out, he jumps up, he does a pull-up and then gets down. Next thing I know, she's up there. Oh, that's awesome. And then she's shouting, I did it. And that's her big thing. And that I did it runs through my mind every time I'm hitting the trails. Like, I see her do this on a daily basis. And it just makes me think how much credit we don't give ourselves, those of us that have it so much easier, that we don't have that much to overcome.